Hello and welcome to Cheshire Audio. Now, this is going to be a really quick video, and I know this is becoming a bit of a catchphrase because I'm always trying to cram a video in between sort of things going on. Apologies for not doing a video last Friday, or Thursday, Friday. Usually film Thursday, Friday, try and get one out every week. The week just completely backed up on me. There was so much stuff going on, so many things to get out. I had a series of very long phone calls from customers, which is great, but if I get a series of them together, it knocks the whole week out. So I had about 2 days of work still to do on Friday afternoon, so the video had to go, unfortunately. But I'm hoping this week's looking a bit quieter, a little bit quieter. Should be able to try and get 2 out this week, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I've got some ideas. I've got some very interesting things have arrived downstairs, which I'll be talking about. But what I wanted to talk about today is, and I've had an old Rega in for service, and it is an old Rega. It's very early P2, and it's absolutely immaculate. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've had some really good P2s in here. But not quite this good. I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you. I mean, there we go. It's a 1978 original wooden plinth P2, and everything is immaculate on it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't quite understand how, to be honest. I mean, it's obviously had work, and I'll talk around that in a minute. But you can just tell that this thing has just not really been used. I mean, the customer who's bought it recently, and he said he bought it from somebody who hadn't used it, and it had actually been in storage for a long time. And I think that might be the key to it, because there's no wear on anything. The main bearing has got zero wear on it. I mean, I've had all the bearing apart and everything. When you put it all back together again, with a brand new bearing, they take an age to drop. This is like a brand new bearing. It must have been taking it sort of 15-20 minutes for it to let the air out so that the bearing could drop. Even with the weight of the platter on it, it took ages to drop. There's zero marks on it from impact point from the ball bearing in it, which is really unusual. Even things like on the tone arm, we've got an original R200 tone arm on it. The little rubber piece across here, usually that hardens up and cracks, and the arm, it doesn't grip the arm properly. I mean, that's not unusual with 5-6-year-old turntables. This is really still quite tacky, and it grips the arm really well. I mean, remember, this is 46 years old. It's even got the original cartridge, and I was sort of thinking, well, you know, even though it's possibly been in storage, you know, this sort of thing, not really been used, that's going to have had it. No, sounds great. Sounds like I remember the old R100 cartridge sounding, so even that's really good. The lid's fantastic. Even the lid, if I look at look along the surface of it, there's the tiny bits of marking on there, but really, if you dust a turntable once, you're going to get that sort of mark. Actually, looking at it, I'd say that's not even a single dusting's worth. Really, it's just ridiculous. So in this original smoke lid, these things. I mean, if you put the lid on eBay just on its own, you could probably get 80-90 pound for it. Not that the customer's going to do that, I don't think. Going through the things that have changed on this, and some quite surprising things. It's had a new switch. I'm convinced that's not original. Because it wouldn't have had the red, it wouldn't have had the red rocker on it. I'm pretty sure Rega have never used a switch like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you know different to me, say so. But I've never seen one like that. I think that's a replacement. It's also had a new capacitor in it. So at some point, it's had motor failure. That would have happened whether it's been used or not, actually, because it is kind of a thing. I think this might have had is, I think it's been given to somebody to service it. And I think it might have been having an issue with the cap, and they've thought, oh, the motor's on its way out. Well, we'll try the switch first, then we'll try this, and we'll try this. And they've gone through it and changed a few things, but probably it was only the capacitor, to be honest. It's got a rubber mat on it, which some of the very early P2s did. But this, I think, that's a Rotel one. I think that's off an RP850 Rotel, which is a sort of 80s-ish, 90s turntable. I think early days somebody's got fed up with the felt mat and swapped it, because I suspect this would have been felt mat. Again, memory's failing on me, but I'm not like I say, the early ones did, but I don't think that's quite that early. It's got the really nice Space 1999 sort of logo on it, the old Rega text, sort of, which would have looked so modern at the time, but nowadays it sort of really dates it. And even the wood on it, which quite often this has sort of start to sort of fade and get little chips in them and all sorts of things. There isn't a single mark on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Underneath there's a bit more sign that people have been in here. Not really a major problem. I think whoever did the servicing on it has had the motor out at some point because it's lost its isolation screws. And to be honest, if you take out the isolation screws, it wrecks them totally. You strip them straight away. So and they're not easy. Well, they're impossible to get hold of nowadays. But yeah, so it's got metal screws in there. But hey, not a big issue particularly. What it came in for was that it was running slow. It was taking an age to get up to speed. Part of that was the fact whoever did the service had put way too much oil in. They put the wrong oil in, and the oil had come out and it was seeping under the subplat and it was onto the belt. It had an Edwards belt on it which had stretched massively, so it was barely clinging on the belt. Oh, and it had the classic. If you've ever seen my video on things that happened to Regas, the pulley had become detached from the motor, so the motor was turning faster than the pulley was. So until it had been spinning for a while, and it seemed to catch up with itself. But it's all fine now. I think I've timed it. I don't know why I do this. This is a bit just one of the things I do. I timed the startup when it came in, and it was taking 20 seconds to get up to 33 RPM. Now with the new belt, everything cleaned up and all decontaminated, it's 2 seconds, which is pretty good actually, because most Regas are like 2 to 4 seconds. So this is up the better end of it. It doesn't matter really. I mean, as long as it gets there eventually, it doesn't really matter. But hey, tone arm is really good. The only thing it has got a failed bias belt on it, which I tend not to swap. I mean, there's various reasons for that. I mean, if you do change the belt, how do you calibrate it? The magnets in these tone arms quite often are really weak now anyway, so you're not getting an awful lot of bias. But the main thing about that is that when they do fail, they tend to fail where they were left, and they're usually left on 2 grams, which is kind of around and about what you need anyway. So it doesn't seem to affect it. It plays beautifully. It's really nice actually. So yeah, I thought I'd show you this one. I'm not going to put it together back together with one hand. Let me just put that platter back on. So there you go, 1978 Rega Planer 2. You wouldn't know it's ever been used, to be honest, really. What it's worth, it's hard to say, really, because they're so rare in that condition. And full of like the guy who's bought it said, he prefers the look of this with a wooden surround. I mean, whether that's sonically that's a great idea, I don't know. But it's adding mass, I suppose. But it is quite. It's a good looking deck actually, got to say. So yeah, I thought you'd like that one. I mean, I just love things like this. I love something like this. It's like a little time capsule. It's just beautiful. And I don't know, there can't be many in this condition out there at all, if any. I don't think really. I've seen, like I say, I've seen loads, and I've seen quite a few in good condition. But this is just exceptional. So there you go, Alistair. You bought a good one. Okay, right. Turn the camera around again. Yeah, thanks for that. Like I say, very quick video. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a couple of reviews later in the week. I've just got a few things that have come and just need to decide which one to do. I've actually got a bit of a backlog of ideas of videos, so we'll see. We'll see which one comes up, which one I fancy doing at the time, I suppose. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, because I need to be busy. This is a shop, remember. I do need to be busy. Hopefully it won't be busy from a video point of view, but I would like it to be busy from actually feeding my children point of view. So anyway, let's leave it there. Thanks for watching. I will see you in a future video. Don't forget to give a subscribe and a like, because it always helps. Yeah, see you soon.